Guys, welcome back to the Whatever Football Podcast, episode 5. Back here with Ralphie. How you doing, Ralph?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm better than you. Better than you today, so I can't complain.
It's not very hard at the moment.
I know. But it's happy days for me. How's your weekend been since obviously everything eventuated?
I've just been trying to actually put the pain behind me, to be honest with you. I think, as you mentioned, on Sunday morning when I woke up to a message saying you guys were shit or whatever it was, and then when I didn't think from memory, I didn't reply, and then he said, "Do you want to talk about it?" And I said, "Mate, I'm just trying to move on with my life." I wasn't too sure if it was a banter comment or if it was actually genuine concern, but yeah,
No,
I'm just trying. It's just me trying to move on and forget. It's the more you think about it, the more pain that I have. So
you know when a football fan is hurt when they don't wear their kit. That's when you know something. I was like that last year, just wear black shirts, everything like that. That's when you know a football fan is hurt.
I haven't even bothered getting changed from my work stuff, so that's how bad it is at the moment, mate. Like I was looking in the cupboard, I thought I don't want to wear a United jersey, so I thought oh well, I don't want to come on here wearing anything else than a United jersey because at the end of the day, I'm a United supporter, so I thought I'll just rather wear nothing at all.
That's fair. Look, we'll touch base obviously into the games that happened through the week. Villa, Everton. I'm surprised. Obviously, Everton lost again. Well, am I surprised? I'm not surprised. But those guys, I saw like a stat that they've spent like $600 million or something supposedly in the last like 5 years. Like that's
Everton
just great. Yeah, that's just
crazy. That wouldn't surprise me because you look at them, say 2-3 years ago. I can't remember exactly the amount. I can't remember exactly the signings they were having, but they were with the amount of signings that they were bringing in, say like 19, 20, 2021. They were like everyone was thinking that they were going to be like top 8. Like even last year, you look at how I know they did poorly last year, but you look at the team that they have in their expectations. They were meant to be top. They were expected to be top 10 last year, and they just survived relegation.
Second last week out.
Yeah. Danny Ings with an absolute screamer. Did you see that goal?
Yeah. I watched all the games this weekend. Danny Ings had a great goal.
Yeah.
Southampton Leeds 2-2. Nothing much to say there. Brighton Newcastle 0-0. I'd say good result away from home for Newcastle. They're not going to be disappointed at that, especially after winning the first home game. Obviously, City smashing Bournemouth 4-0. I think because that game was on the same time as us. I was sort of just like flicking a little bit in between. But they would, from the boys that were watching at the same time, they said that City were just all over them the whole time.
All over him. I think Haaland, no goals, 1 assist. I think he only had 2 touches of the ball in the 70-odd minutes that he was on too, which is very, very surprising.
Very surprising. I thought, for sure he'd score a couple of goals in that game.
Yeah.
Wolves and Fulham drew. Mitrovic missing a penalty. Nottingham Forest getting one over West Ham. Very surprising in that result. Obviously, Arsenal getting off to a 4-2 early Sunday morning, which was fantastic. I think we played excellent. Still, the thing is, we're playing great, but we still have so much more to improve on, which I think is fantastic. Ashton, what's happening, brother? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. But yeah, look, we're playing great football, but there's still so much to improve on, which is the exciting part for me because I know that we're not at our best yet, so it's really cool. But we'll touch base more into the Arsenal game a little bit later. Chelsea Tottenham 2-2. I think that was just robbery. I know, look, I don't like either of the teams, but Chelsea got robbed of 3 points for me in that game. Like Tottenham,
good game though.
Good game, but it shows me that Tottenham. I can see where I'm having those doubts about Tottenham potentially not getting that top 4. They seem just so weak in defense, and that's from a Chelsea team that can't really score either.
But you think
at
about
the moment, what do you think top 4 would be? I've had to rethink. I had Tottenham in my top 4, but those I thought Chelsea would be weaker, but then they got Koulibaly, Cucurella, Sterling. So I made that prediction before they started making those signings, and they might go out and still get a striker before the end of the window as well. Still, two and a bit weeks left now. So Chelsea will probably get 4th, maybe again. I think it'll be between them because to me, I just see Arsenal the better out of those 3 right now. And we're still going to strengthen at this stage anyway, from what we're being told. So, I've always said Arsenal 3rd personally. But I'm thinking maybe
I can
Chelsea.
see Arsenal scrapping into the 4. I would say that I think as I
It
was just about
depends.
to
To me, it
comment on
just
the
depends if we do signings. That's what I'm saying. So if we go out and still get
with,
another midfielder
with
and
how
a
you've
winger,
started, even as it is, I think you've got potential. I think you're riding on a bit of a high at the moment with Spurs. With Spurs, I think that with Conte, Spurs are obviously lucky to jag a point against Chelsea with the ref and all that, as we'll get into later. But the that let's be honest, that's just Conte as a manager, isn't it? Like he gets results when they're not expected to get results, and that's why I think Spurs are just going to go that one little bit further this year. So I think it's going to be City, Liverpool, Spurs for third, Arsenal for fourth. That's still going to be my tip with Chelsea in fifth.
Yeah, I just don't see Tottenham getting that third. I just think their defense is so weak. Shit keeper as well. Defense is scrappy. I don't know, bro. They're just a counter-attacking team. That's all they have. If you can stop them that way, then they got nothing. I just don't think they're a good team. They got good players, but they're not a good team. Anyway, I think that it's obviously they were lucky to get a point. Chelsea robbed, the whole Cucurella thing and the referee decisions. I think they're completely appalling. Supposedly, I saw there was like a third-party intervention that might be coming into the Premier League to reassess refereeing decisions and stuff. But I don't know about you, but like I know, like when you watch other sports, you watch NFL, you watch cricket, you watch NRL in Australia, or I think NBA maybe has it as well. You can hear the referees. At least I want to be able to hear what is happening. Like why are you getting to that decision? Why is Mike Dean saying go have a look at this? Why is no one assessing that situation? So yeah, to me, it's I don't know. Something like that has to be integrated, so at least fans have a different perspective and can understand a little bit better. Because until then, they're just a bunch of clowns. So,
but what I'm noticing right in the first couple of weeks of the Premier League being back is that VAR is not really interfering as much anymore, are they? Like, like the Richarlison goal or like the hair pull. Obviously, as we're talking about Chelsea and Spurs at the moment, it's VAR was getting involved in those situations last year and at least saying, hey, go have a look at it. But this, but it's very different. It seems to be very different this year. Like if it's not a clear and absolutely obvious error where it's like you've fucked up, then they're not even going over it. They're not even being advised to go over and have a look. Is what I'm finding.
The one thing in the Arsenal game, I don't know if you saw it, you might not have seen it, but Aaron Ramsdale in the 44th minute, he rushed out anyway. He shouldn't have rushed out anyway, but he rushed out to try claim a ball. Vardy runs past and Vardy dives. And obviously in high speed, it looks like, it's a penalty. And ref gave a penalty. VAR actually went and said, nah, Barry, you got to have a look. And obviously he overturned the decision, which was great because,
so he did go over to the camera.
He went actually over to the monitor. Okay. Yeah, the ref. I think Mike Dean was actually on VAR. So Mike Dean, which was surprising in itself, and he said to go to VAR to the box. He checked it, saw that Vardy dived, but in that instant as well, like Vardy should still get carded for simulation.
Correct.
Like, there was zero contact, and all he did was just give Arsenal. Yeah, well, it should be, and I thought for simulation it was due to you were due to get cards, but doesn't seem like it. But whatever, as long as the penalty wasn't given, it wasn't too bad. But like it was used obviously in a good way in that game for us. But I think no one can say that VAR or refs are against them because I think every team just gets screwed weekly on different aspects. Arsenal got screwed multiple times. We got a little bit lucky with the decision now, but I think in weeks to come there'll be something that's just going to cost us a win or a draw or something like that. It just always happens. It always happens.
It's going to happen.
And obviously last game, which we'll dive into anyway. So you can so you can touch base on it. Is the United 4-0.
Oh, sorry. I think about Liverpool. I thought about Liverpool Palace. But also,
look, Liverpool Palace. It is what it is. Yeah. Okay. We'll go United first, but yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Ramsdale Gabriel been a bit shaky so far, continuing from last season. Ashton, bro, I agree 100%, bro. I think Ramsdale's been really shaky and Gabriel's been suspect since he shaved his hair, since he got that hair transplant, and like his old juju was in the old hair. I hope he builds his confidence back up because all the goals are coming from that left-hand centre back side. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but see, when you're winning though, like it you don't really worry as much.
The thing is, we conceded obviously sloppy goals, like I said, a lot to improve on. But the mentality to come back and score twice within 60 seconds after both those goals, that was the biggest takeaway out of that game, just the hunger to come back and, just
That's what I mean, right? If you obviously what, because it was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1,
No. It was 2-0, 2-1, 3-1,
Sorry, yes,
3-2,
correct. That's
4-2.
what I mean. Yes. So to be leading by 2, right? But if it was a different story, so obviously 2-0 up and then you drew 2-2.
Right, they had 2 shots the whole game.
Yeah, but if it was different, then the whole Ramsdale/Gabriel would be a little bit different. It wouldn't be like they're not doing as well. It'd be fucking, they need to switch
No,
on.
because you can see
the game.
It's not the goals necessarily that they're shaky about. Like for me, it's like when Ramsdale's on the ball now, he's kicking it into their defenders. His passing's not as accurate. He's putting us in shaky positions where teams can sometimes potentially come and counter us and put us in those positions. So he hasn't been at fault, like, passing it like De Gea did, sort of thing. But I can see that it's leading to that potentially. And it's a little, no, but like, that's what I mean. Like the playing out, he's been a little bit shaky, like especially against Palace. He did it twice.
Yeah.
Gabriel on the ball's been a bit shaky as well. So it's not just the goal aspect. It's other aspects in the game that I look at, and I can see that they're not up to scratch. And Ramsdale was shaky at the back end of last season as well. So it's not the best. What's this? United looking to pick up Jermaine Defoe and David Luiz. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine? I heard Willian cancelled his contract.
Hey?
Willian cancelled his contract in Brazil, so he's a free agent now if you want.
Well, I'll take him.
No, you wouldn't.
Man, wouldn't fucking surprise me.
But yeah, that Man United game, how you feeling about it? So give me. Did you actually? Obviously, you would have stayed up. I saw you online when the game was on.
Yeah, of course you did. So actually, funnily enough, obviously we kicked off at 2:30. You guys were the game before, weren't you? Yeah, you guys were at midnight.
Yeah.
So,
I was literally. Yeah, so I just stayed up.
So I woke up at 2. Woke up at 2 o'clock. Went back. Had to go to the loo. Went to the loo. Fell back asleep, and I woke up at 20 to 3. So I missed the first step. Like my alarm went off, but I snoozed it for 10 minutes because obviously just rooted.
Yeah.
Because I had a game myself on the Saturday nights. I didn't get to bed till about 11, and so just absolutely rooted. Woke up at 20 to 3, 1-0 down. I said, fuck, here we go. Here we go. So I didn't actually see the goal. Didn't even see the original goal. Been watching it 3-4 minutes. De Gea passes the ball out. Ericsson loses it, bang, 2-0. I thought, fuck me. Are you kidding me? Boom. Third one goes in from the corner. Fourth one goes in. Absolute shambles. Got to halftime. I thought, do I stay awake? Do I go to bed? I'm tired. I thought, fuck, you know what? This is when you're a true support. Well, within reason, right? You're a true supporter. So even at 4-0 down, I thought
you have the hope that you can come back.
Even at 4-0 down at halftime, with the shambles that it was in the first 45 minutes, I thought to myself, I'm going to make sure I stay awake and watch the first 20, 25 minutes, because if we can jag a couple of quick goals, then we're right back in this. If we can jag a couple of quick goals, we're right back in this game, coming from 4-0 down. And at about 75th minute, I went, it's fucking all over. 4-0 stuff at night. And I turned the thing off and went to sleep. Now, I've never seen anything like it. It's the worst performance I've ever seen from Manchester United Football Club.
It was disgusting.
Worse than Liverpool. Worse than Liverpool 5-0. Worse than City absolutely dominating us and making us look like an under-8 team twice last year. Worse than even at Anfield. Last year worse than Watford when we lost to them 4-2 or whatever it was when Ollie got sacked. It was the worst performance I've ever seen from front to back. You obviously you got De Gea that I can't even explain what happened. That first goal, disgusting. That second goal, front of the pass out, shocking. You've got Luke Shaw that couldn't even be fucked getting back for that fourth goal. So a hoof from their 18-yard box, and we've got Harry Maguire. We've got Harry Maguire as the last fucking man on halfway. Mate, he's fucking slower than a boat. And he's slower than a boat.
He's slower than a canoe.
Mate, there you go, a canoe. I was going to say like fucking a P&O cruise, but he's slower than a canoe, and he's one-on-one marking, can't even turn like a fucking brick, can't do anything. Luke Shaw can't be fucked coming to chase the other defender. That's the fourth one. For the third one, no one on the back post for a header across to Martinez. Don't get me wrong, goes straight over Martinez for Ben Mee. Don't get me wrong. I was, mate.
Ralphie, Martinez is your height.
He's 5'10", so I wish.
There's no way that guy is 5'10", bro. That guy is
5'10".
like 5'2". He is a
me.
dwarf.
Well, that
bro.
is definitely me then. If that's bloody Oathy would have made good memory too, Ashton. I like it. Good memory. Good memory. But yeah, but with the Martinez thing, right? It's a I don't blame him. I actually don't blame him for that goal. What really
should have been dealt with at the front post, yeah.
Yeah, correct. What really makes me cringe is that last week on the podcast I was talking about. I think it's Everton that assigned. Is it Everton that signed Tarkovsky?
Yeah, from Burnley, and they also got Connor Cody.
That's right. Yeah. So and I was talking about how like Everton think they're going to survive relegation when you're signing relegated. When you're going to survive when you sign relegated players, and then you got Ben Mee that I think came from Burnley as well, didn't he? Ben Mee?
Yeah.
From memory? Yeah, so you got Ben Mee that fucking scores a goal against us. It just straight away I was just like hands in my head, like, wow, I was just absolutely backing out these players that got relegated. Like these guys.
To me, I couldn't believe. I pissed myself. Obviously, the first one with De Gea, that I just thought that was just so funny. I just couldn't stop laughing. And then obviously the pass out the back thing. You just don't have the players to do it. Like, I know you like this guy wants to implement a philosophy, but your players can't do it. Like, no one of them is like a football, like, they're just not that type of player. And I just laughed when that went in. But to me, like that fourth goal, the fact that Sancho's in the box, loses it, they boot it out, literally 3 touches, and it's a goal.
Yeah, incredible.
Like 3 touches, clearance. I think Tony or whatever, just literally straight cross. I think the guy makes 1 touch and just finesses the bottom corner.
Yeah, correct.
Like, unbelievable. It
might have been
to me, that was goal of the weekend. I
can't even remember. It might have been first touch. It might have been.
No, I think he scooted on the inside to turn whoever was.
Yeah.
Shaw or
Luke
something
Shaw.
like that. So
Luke Shaw was behind him anyway, straight away.
Yeah, so Tony definitely
never got there.
Took 1 touch on that left-hand side and just beautiful pass. But yeah, that was just to me that was a sensational goal, and I couldn't believe it. I was watching. It was like 34 minutes, 4-0 down. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't go to sleep. I just had to keep watching it.
But even the commentators were, just how much of a shambles we were. Like, and they're, obviously neutral. They're meant to be neutral, obviously in terms of biasness and all that kind of stuff. And it was. I don't even have words for it, to be honest with you. But what I don't get is that you look at, and this is what you've probably been seeing me going on Facebook and getting into arguments and, and back and forths and all that. What I don't get, you look at United's team, right? And people say, oh, yeah, well, the Glazers have spent $1 billion, £1 billion over the last 10 years and, everything else that goes with it. Your players just aren't good enough. Well, yes, they aren't good enough, right? Everyone knows that they're not good enough. But you look at who we've got, what we paid for them. So we've got David De Gea in goal. He's meant to be a world-class goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong, I still rate him. Like, shit happens. I'm not saying he's the best goalkeeper in the world, but he's decent, right?
He's got credit in the bank.
Correct, credit in the bank, right? When we signed, we paid way overs for him, but when we signed Harry Maguire, fantastic World Cup season with England, decent for Leicester. All right, people thought he was a decent centre-back. Not 80 million, but people thought he was a decent centre-back, right? Luke Shaw, people thought he was fantastic at Southampton.
Shawberto, remember that?
Yeah, exactly. I think Southampton, was he from?
I don't know.
But yeah, when we signed him before the injuries and all that kind of stuff. Wan-Bissaka, I know he didn't play, but Wan-Bissaka from Palace, mate, everyone thought he was the fucking bee's knees of right backs. Bruno Fernandes, mate, absolutely fucking king shit. Marcus Rashford 3-4 years ago, world beater. Sancho, mate, one of the best up-and-coming wingers in the world. So
like Ashton said here, talent-wise, Sancho, Rashford, and Martial as a front three is not far off from Arsenal's front three. And talent-wise, you can't argue that individually, but at the moment, these guys just aren't performing.
Yeah, well, here's something for you, right? Talent-wise, not performance-wise, but talent-wise on their expectations, I would say that Sancho, Rashford, and Martial expected to be way better than fucking Arsenal's front three, to be honest with you. They're far from, but in terms of their expectations 3 years ago, or say when they were at their peak when we signed them, and when they were in their peak,
fair,
they
all at
should
their
shit
ages,
all over Arsenal's front three.
They should be at their peak right now.
Correct. So this is what I mean. Right?
Rashford's been hailed as like the prince of England's talents, and then you got Sancho, hailed the best next up and comer. You guys sign him, obviously gonna win the league sort of vibes. And then you got Martial, bloke scores on his debut. You guys are trying to quote me that he's Thierry Henry. And I was like, pipe down. Look at that turned out.
Gassed, mate, gassed. But this is what I mean, right? And this is what I'm going back to the Glazers. But
the thing is, So
with the Glazers, all right, we've spent $1 billion, and I sent you through that thing the other night, right? So there was like 30 odd players on that list, and I think there was 2 greens, 4 ambers, and there was like 20 something reds. So obviously, green being actually successful, reds being half decent, and oranges, ambers being half decent, and reds being failures. And so we've spent over $1 billion in the last 10 years, what the Glazers has, and we've got 2 greens, and I think one was who was what? I can't even remember who. I think one was Ibrahimovic. One was fucking Ibrahimovic, mate. Out of all people.
Well, look, I'll tell you right now, the current Man United situation isn't far off from what Arsenal were 3 to 4 years ago, I would say. We had players on high wages. You look at the time, we had Mesut Ozil. It was just after Sanchez left. Ozil on $350 a week. We started bringing in players like Mustafi, David Luiz. I think Willian started coming in. We started, Socrates. Like I can't even remember like how many bad players we actually like literally brought in. The list is endless. How many bad players we brought in, and it's still taken us 40 years now, and we're still trying to scrap players like Hector Bellerin. We just got rid of the likes of Torreira's and stuff like that. We've had to cull the whole board. ABBA got new deals, big contracts. For you, though?
But what's changed for you? Because you just got a new same owners, a new philosophy, like new manager. See, we're getting new managers, but we're the same shit regurgitated.
Well, I think what happened. Look. But what Declan say here? He said thoughts on Man United reportedly have value. Yeah, bro. That evaluation of
what's this for? Marcus.
That was for Rashford's evaluation.
Oh yeah.
The 120 million plus, bro. Saka would be worth like fucking.
Yeah, but you know the reason why. Yeah, but you know the reason why Rashford's got a value of 120 million, not because of his footballing ability, because his marketability. It's just United tag. No, because his marketability, right? So
he's going to have no marketability in PSG though.
Of course he is. Like he's worldwide famous. He's worldwide famous for helping out the homeless and helping the children, helping the poor. He's got good brand, and he's got good brand ambassadors, all that kind of stuff. People like the Nikes, Adidas's, all those kind of people. He's marketable. He's really well marketed. Same as Pogba, mate. Pogba did fuck all at United, but he's so well marketable. You know what I mean? That he sells shirts. Like if Rashford went to PSG, he sells fucking bulk shirts. Even if he's a shit footballer, he sells bulk shirts because everybody knows him.
Same like Ronaldo, shit footballer, but sells bulk shirts, yeah.
No, mate, he's fucking. I'm not gonna lie, he's not.
Bro, the guy was crying on halfway at 3-0. But
mate, he should have had 2 goals on the weekend.
The headers. I think very slim chances. Come on, slim chances. I'll even give it to the guy. He ain't my favorite, but that was slim chances.
Sorry, maybe not 2. Fucking both. Maybe missed. One. Both should have been on target. For I'd his quality, for the room he had no pressure. He had no defenders on him.
Yeah.
Both went over the bar. Both of them should at least been testing the keeper.
Yeah, so Ashton's got a good point. I was obviously going to touch base on it. It's sort of like the way that everything's been changed and implemented in Arsenal. Edu, Mertesacker, Ben Napa, loan manager, and Arteta all working on the same page. If Arteta goes through a structure above, oh my God, I'm so dyslexic, bro. If Arteta goes, the structure above stays the same. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 100% right, bro. So it looks like Arsenal went through 2 different philosophies, what I was going to say. Obviously, Kroenke's had split ownership with, Usmanov and all these other guys. That obviously got sold off in, I think, 2018, so 4 years ago. That was end of Wenger's era at the time. Through that, our owners, just like your guys own the Buccaneers and all those other teams. We own LA Rams and all that sort of shit. They don't understand the football philosophy and culture. We never spent money anyway. They just cared that we were in Europe, paid the bills, and paid off their loans, just like your guys. But it seems like since they've taken 100% ownership, it feels like they've tried one thing where they tried to go with that experience with the Louises, the Willians, and all that sort of stuff. They could see within 6 months that didn't work. And obviously they tried to clear that and change that slate to Project Youth, which is the new 3-year plan. You know, they went with that with Unai, with the experience sort of thing. Then they went to Project Youth. So they spent big money on Pepe's and stuff, but they've decided buy cheaper, let them develop, and then hopefully, obviously sell more expensive eventually in the future with bigger names and build on something. And then in 3, 4, 5 years, you only need to maybe add one person every summer. Sort of what I guess like Liverpool and City do to some extent. They don't buy 10 people every summer window.
Yeah.
They buy like the one or two. So I think that's what's happened. Whether it's going to succeed or not is to be seen. I don't see success as coming into the top 4 because I started complaining that we were top 4 only. So to me, that's not where I see success. I see success when we're challenging for league titles again and when we're winning league titles or competing, at the top end of the Champions League, making Champions League semis and UCL finals like we were. So that's what we were doing. I can't even remember how long ago. It was a long, long time ago, obviously.
A long time ago. Were you even born last time in the Champions League?
That was 5, 6 years ago. Chill out.
But see, as what you mentioned there, right? Like, back on a serious note, like, but when you grow up, when your roots, when your roots are strong, like a Liverpool and a City, and they got good depth, then you don't need to buy 1 to 2 players a year, right? Like when you're when your club's rotten from top to bottom, like Arsenal has been through, like we're going through at the moment, you need to bring in 8 to 10 players to change that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what we've literally had to do.
Mate. They only need to tinker.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what. So I'm hoping that
they bring in Nunes.
Yeah. I'm hoping that Arsenal's at a point now. I still think we need to obviously add in this window. I still think we need a mid and a winger to compete and try get that 3rd, 4th. That's what I still think because we don't have enough depth right now. Our squad was completely cold, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because we need to, reinvest. Like I think Ashton said before, we still got to sell like Maitland-Niles, Pepe. We still got to sell Bellerin. There's a whole bunch of players that we still can't get rid of. So
Pepe.
A lot of issues.
I remember us wanting Pepe for 80 odd million.
Yeah, well, we paid 72. Look,
to the punch.
Yeah, but Pepe, to me, they talk about a flop, but like when he played, he scores goals and he gives assists.
He does.
I think the other, was it last season or the season before? Like the guy got 17 goals, 7 assists or something like that in all competitions in the league.
What's wrong then? His attitude. It's just his attitude, is it? Or
I just don't think he suits the system that Arteta wants. He wants someone that can be constantly like pressing all the time, tracking back. He's the type of player that, like he plays on the wing. And you loft the ball to him, he runs onto the ball, takes on the defender, and then finesses sort of thing. So he's that type of winger where, that's not the system we're playing. We're playing like press, catch them out, and then score a goal because that's the way we're attacking now. So he doesn't do that. He doesn't even get on the field anymore. So I'd assume that he's going as well because, even if it's just a loan deal, I'm sure that he's going for game time. He would be an improvement for you guys.
Speaking of overpaying, as you mentioned before, and I was mentioned too before we came on live stream. I heard this morning that obviously how we were rumored to sign Rabiot. So that's off. He wanted too much money.
Not
fun. How's this right? He wanted too much money, and it's being reported that we were willing to make him one of the highest paid players at the football club. So we got Ronaldo on 400 and something £1,000. We got De Gea on 350, and I think our next biggest is about 250 with like Rashford, Bruno, those kind of players. So he was going to be around the 250 to 300,000 pound a week, and he wanted more. So we decided to walk. So we decided to walk away after Murta had fucking flown to Turin. So he flew to Barcelona to try and get Frankie the other week, about a month ago. No good. Then he flew to Turin. Then he flew to Turin to try and get Rabiot, and so he's no good. So apparently he's flying over. Ashton, from what I've heard, he's flying over to Brisbane on the weekend to try and sign Cookie. So we'll see what happens.
Declan, I don't even know if we're going to compete for any trophies except for Europa. Us Arsenal fans are getting very excited. Nowhere near the peak of our rebuild. Yeah, I agree we're nowhere near the peak of the rebuild. I'm not saying we're going to win the league or anything, but do I think that our squad right now is able enough to qualify for top 4? I do. I think we have the squad to do it. As for cup competitions and all that sort of stuff, that's why I talk about depth. I don't think that Arsenal right now at this stage have the depth to compete in all the competitions because we've seen it over time. Partey gets an injury. That's going to leave us light in midfield, and then we're stuck with Lokonga and Elneny, who we know aren't good enough. Left back, we fixed. Right back, still a weakness. Up top, if Jesus gets an injury, bro, we're running with Eddie and Kedia like we did at the end of last season. So it's not good enough for me. So we need options. We need more people to compete. And, my league positions and ambitions are based on us getting 2 more signings, a midfielder and a winger, and then building again on that in January as well if we need to.
At least it looks like you're on the right path, though, right?
I think so. I think we're on the right path.
There's ambition there, which is the main thing, right? Obviously, as an outsider looking in, and obviously
I'm starting to see what they're trying to do, and I'm trying to after a couple of years, I'm finally starting to see I'm finally starting to see a style of play. You know what I mean? Like I'm finally seeing that, the whole front three, like they're pressing now, I went through with Laka not doing that, Abba not doing that. And you know what I mean? So now that Saka, Martinelli, and Thingo are all pressing at once, like I'm seeing what he, I guess, is wanting out of the team. Still can't believe that we have Eddie on 100k per week. Hey, Dex, I don't want to talk about that, bro. The fact that he's wearing 14 as well.
Just quickly talking about Arsenal and looking belief in terms of a rebuild. Did I see? I'm just trying to find it. Did I actually see you post something on Twitter about that? Arteta's starting to grow in you, or starting to believe? You're starting to believe. Oh, am I starting to like Mikel?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, let's all just. You probably won't be able to see it, but am I starting to like Mikel? If I
have you listened? Listen.
I never ever thought that you would say something like that. So that just goes to show that they're showing ambition, because you said all.
No. You know what changed? Listen, what changed me is seeing the document. I don't know if you've watched the All or Nothing thing.
No,
obviously it's it's just seeing, I guess, the behind the scenes on how he is like after losses, how he's like, I'm not so much like the motivation of players.
Isn't that the thing that you're going on about last year, how they couldn't give a fuck about the football and all they cared about was a documentary?
Well, the thing is, you know what I mean? Like I didn't say that I said the club only cares about the money from the documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't make European football, it gave us an extra like 10, 15 in the bank.
Yeah. So is that on Netflix?
Mil. It's on Amazon.
Okay, I'll have to watch it then. Yeah. I've watched
it's actually
Die and all that kind of stuff, but
this one's it's really insightful to like transfer dealings. Like they went into depth about the whole of January transfer was literally just trying to get Abra off the books, but they don't really go into they don't really go into full details. They show you like their boards of like we're too flooded in this position. We got to cull 2 players, bring in another one here. Yeah. So they show you like a little bit of those scenes, like all the lawyer aspects. They tell you
they've obviously got to be careful what they can and can't.
Of course, there's be a lot of legality stuff.
Yeah, of course,
it's good seeing all the.
They can't say Aubameyang shit. He's got to go. He's toxic. All that.
No, but like there was good things, like you know what I mean. So the Abba situation, it was an issue with Arteta, and they interviewed Edu, and they said to Edu, "Do you agree with the decision?" He said, "I don't, but I have to back Mikel." So you know what I mean. He wanted to keep. So you know what I mean. He said that in the documentary. So things like that, it's good insight to see how he is after losses.
You think about it for like a I guess like a podcast, really, or like a stream. It's to actually have that information out there and to share that with the fans. That's pretty open and honest, because usually that's a lot of behind the closed door shit, that you never hear or see about.
Yeah, so we've been obviously shut out, which most clubs are. They're shut out from what happens. So to be able to see, I guess, those ins and outs and those little aspects, see the anger that the coach and manager feels. And like, like when we lost to like Everton, like this guy is like going in the locker room and like smashing down like freaking like the clothes bin and saying that they're fucking rubbish. They're horrible. You know what I mean? Like, so he's feeling like what we were feeling. So I think like that connection of the anger that I felt after those games, he felt it as a manager.
He's got the same emotion. He's on the same level. He wants the same result.
So that's what I mean. Like that aspect was resonating with me a lot. Like obviously
it's not an unlucky, there's still a lot of try again next week kind of thing.
Yeah.
As you're all suffering. Yeah.
So it was a lot of like little things like that that made me see it in a different light or whatever. It's still, like I said, there's a lot to prove. The guy still got eighth and fifth. You know what I mean? So As much as, the anger that he feels, like you still got to, at the end of the day, get results. So, look, we don't really even need to touch on Arsenal too much anyway, because we pretty much touched on it. But I will say just quickly on like that game as a whole, I think we pretty much controlled a good portion of it. Sloppy in stages, like I said, still a lot to grow on and develop on, but that'll happen as the season goes on. I just hope we can bring in more players, because, we get 5 subs this year as well, and I can see that we're delaying our substitutions because we don't have the players to bring on as well. So that's a concerning aspect. But I'm sure that'll
touch. Like I know
it should be touch wood. But like I said, like for me, looking at the games that I had, I think there's like Bournemouth, Fulham, I think Villa maybe in the 5. So to me, I was obviously going for 15-15. That was obviously what I was aiming for. And then I think we have you guys on match week 6, I think.
You do,
potentially.
yes. And unfortunately, unfortunately, it's a shit time too.
Is it?
I've already had a look. I think we're playing there you go, September 5th. So I think it's like a Monday morning or a Tuesday morning at 1:30 a.m.
Oh,
because I was going to say pig. Sorry, Thursday morning, 1:30 a.m. There you go.
Thursday morning.
Yeah, even worse.
Yeah, even worse. Midweek. Yeah. But so look, I want to go into that game with a lot of confidence. Obviously, when it gets to that game anyway, just even like with United and Liverpool this weekend, I think sometimes that form or whatever goes out the window and it's just that old rivalry. But I guess it depends on the players on the day and who wants to show up and who wants to care and fight. So, but we'll see what happens. Anything can change in 4 weeks. We could go, touch wood doesn't happen. You go and lose 4 games on the bounce. You guys could go and win 4 on the bounce, and it all can change. Like I said, like last year, Arsenal lost 3 at the bottom, 20th.
Yeah.
Doom and gloom, relegation jokes here and there. And then we still missed out on top 4 by 1 point. So, a lot can change around. And I think we had 13 or 14 losses last year. So
really?
Yeah, 13 losses, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So it was either like a loss or a win for us.
Just missed out on top 4.
Yeah,
that's
so there's a lot of... So to me, like, the start of the season really cost us. And then in between, we lost 3 games on the bounce as well to like Villa, Everton, and someone else. So there was spells in there. All I'm looking for is more consistency this year. That's all I'm looking for.
That just goes to show the depth of the Premier League these days, which I think is really, really good. Although I hate losing, all that kind of stuff. You guys hate losing. But I just think, within reason, I'd say probably 90% of the games throughout the year, they're like, within reason, fuck, either team could probably win that or scrape a point or whatever it might be. When you've got the Cities versus Bournemouth or whatever it might be, obviously, it's very much expected that City were going to win, which they did. But, a lot of the games in the Premier League these days, it's like, that could go either way,
Fulham with Liverpool, Palace with Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly.
So things like that happen all the time. So it's the Premier League. Anyone can beat anyone. I think it's just, sometimes complacency comes into it as well. So
yeah.
And I'd say Liverpool have been sloppy at the back as well. They've been really sloppy, struggling to score up top as well. So
mate, they've been Nunes missed 2. I would say, not so much sitters, but Nunes missed 2 very good chances on the weekend. But I know we obviously haven't even spoke about it yet, but in my eyes, the red card was definitely a red card. No, unsure if true, but I did read yesterday or last night that apparently he could be getting about 4 to 5 weeks. Whether or not that's true. That's what I read. Apparently, deliberate violent conduct, 4 to 5 weeks. So
I wouldn't say it's deliberate violent conduct. The guy pushed him in the back, and he turns around and reacts. It's not like he went out of his way to attack him or choke him. Dude, Granit Xhaka literally choked a player last year and only got 2 weeks or something.
But before that, though, he gave him 2 attempted backward headbutts. And then, mate, Anderson obviously pushed him. And then he's like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like a Zinedine Zidane, but, mate, it's a... obviously not. Obviously, it's not a Zinedine Zidane, but obviously, it's a blatant headbutt. So, and I just think it's just South Americans, mate. They're just South Americans.
No, it's the Uruguayan in him, He's either biting or headbutting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, South Americans, Uruguayan, same thing. But yeah, like that's what it is. But he missed 2 good chances. I think the pressure's on him to be, I actually think he was just getting poked by Anderson. And I honestly,
that Anderson's looking like a good defender. He's looking like a good defender.
Yeah, he is looking like. And I was reading this afternoon that he has got that many death threats and this and that from the dirty Scouse bastards as well. That's fucking disgusting, mate.
Death threats for what?
Hey,
he did nothing. He played the game.
For provoking Nunes, apparently, because he provoked him.
Yeah. Their players over the years have been. How many of their players have been racist, biting, cheating?
Yeah, calling people monkeys, fucking, like
dickheads, man.
And yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I know. Go figure. But speaking of Liverpool,
I'm a United fan, and we're not good enough, though. And the same with Arsenal. What do you mean by the same as Arsenal, bro? We're in completely different stages right now. Completely different predicaments. I think United are where Arsenal were 3-4 years ago, bro.
Yeah, we're struggling. Definitely struggling, Peter.
Yeah.
But
look, you're a big club, man. It'll take time, but you got to put the right people in the place to turn it around. So.
Correct. And
do you have a board of director? Do you have a board of director or like
nothing? No, nothing. We got
we've obviously got like Edu that came into that role as well. We never had that before Wenger. So those changes, I guess, like came in play as well. So,
but see, we can't because we can't have a board of directors because we've got Arnold and Murta, which are just they're just
way better.
They're just bankers that don't know anything. So why would they put a board of director in that knows something about football? Because imagine that, right? If you're a manager, right? Say you manage Dylan, say you manage Dylan FC, right? Or like say Dylan Proprietary Limited, and absolutely fucking you're the main man, and the main man under the owner, and fucking nothing about it, but you're getting paid big wages. The owners fucking love you. They think you're King Dick, right? As if you're gonna bring in someone that knows more than you, that's gonna undermine you. Are you gonna do that? Of course, you're fucking not. You know what I mean? If you're happy being King Dick, like Borat, like as if you're gonna, like no, you'll never get this, you'll never get this. As if you're gonna bring in someone that knows more than you to undermine you when you know nothing.
True.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's I think where we're stuck. That's where we're stuck at the moment, but.
Now you were saying before, you said that Liverpool have had a worse start than Man United.
I was saying that, yes, as you've probably seen on Facebook, and I don't mind a little bit of banter. If there's one thing that I'm good at, as you probably know, Dylan, no matter how good, no matter how well or poorly Manchester United are going, I'll always find a way of fucking bantering someone to take the focus off Man United Football Club. And although I cop it back, and I genuinely believe that that Liverpool have had a worse start than Man United. And it sounds silly. I know we lost.
It does sound silly. Elaborate.
I know we lost 2-1 to Brighton, and I know we lost 4-0 to Brentford, right? But in my eyes, preseason got some United fans a little bit gassed. It got me a little bit gassed. Were we going to win the league? No. But did we have a chance of top 4 after preseason? I thought, fuck, we might look all right here for top 4.
Still have a chance.
Within reason, right? Not unless you're a United supporter, everyone knew that we were in a fucking shambles. With how we finished last year, with how much of a laughing stock we were last year, no one was expecting United to get top 4. Everyone would have tipped 7th, 8th. I tipped 7th, last week. I think 7th or 8th last week. I know we had a loss, but I still tipped that. So United were expected to be mid-table. All right, we lost 2 games. Yes, I know it's fucking embarrassing, but Liverpool were meant to be title contenders, and a lot of people actually tipped them to win the league. So not to lose, but to draw against a newly promoted team in Fulham, although away from home. And yes, I know they went down to 10 men with Nunes, as we just spoke about getting sent off, but to draw at home to Crystal Palace, at home at Anfield, a fortress, at home, I just think that 2 points from a possible 6 as title contenders. So they're expected to come first. They're now, I think they're 12th or 14th. I think they're 12th on the table with 2 draws. We're expected to finish mid-table. Yes, we're last. Let's be honest. We're not going to finish last. No. Obviously, we might finish. We'll probably finish mid-table, right? If we'll realistically probably finish mid-table. Liverpool could still win the league, but we'll probably finish mid-table. So I just think that Liverpool have had a work in terms of expectations. United were expected to do fuck all and finish mid-table. Liverpool were expected to probably or potentially win the league, and they've dropped 4 points out of a possible 6. If, and I'm not saying we are or I expect us to or whatever, because a little part deep down inside me, a little speck, as big as a black ant, has a hope that we can beat Liverpool at Old Trafford.
Bro,
however, the other 99.99% of me thinks we've got no chance. But guess what? If we beat them, we're above them on the table.
Yeah.
We're above them on the table. So that's why I think that Liverpool that's why I think Liverpool have had a worse start. I know I'm saying if, but that's why I think at the moment we're on par. But if we can beat Liverpool at Old Trafford, and let's be honest, as what you said with derbies, mate, form goes out the window. When Liverpool was shit for years, when Man City was shit for years, with derbies, mate, any form goes out the window. If we can beat them, Liverpool have had a far worse start to the league than United. If we can drag them at Old Trafford, even if it's a scrappy 1-0 win,
I agree.
From a fucking penalty, who cares?
I agree.
So that's why I'm going down that track.
Yeah, I agree that if you get that win over them, especially, it's gonna be 10 times the worst start for sure.
And I also enjoy that I can put up a comment, on Optus Sport or whatever it might be. I never go into the Liverpool Facebook pages because I'm in recipe for disaster, obviously. It would just be astronomical. I wouldn't be able to keep up. And I also really, really enjoy the fact, I can go on like an Optus Sport or, like a football community or whatever it might be, put up a comment, and within like 2 minutes, I get a comment straight back. Hey, believe, mate. Believe, Peter, believe. And I also believe that,
listen, even if I lost 20 games in a row and I was versing Tottenham next, I'm still going to think that I'm going to beat Tottenham. You know what I mean? It's
got to have the faith, mate. Got to have the faith.
If it's a rival, I'm sure if you were versing maybe West Ham this weekend or us, you might have, or maybe not us, but like, I don't know, like
if we were playing you guys, I'd still think we could beat you. Mate, no matter what, like, it doesn't matter. Even if we're playing City on the weekend, I would still go, I think we're still in. Because
there's always a chance. Even relegation teams get wins.
I think I said a draw with Brentford? I think from memory in our predictions last week.
We both said a draw. Yeah, we both did.
Go. So did I realistically think we could? I know we got flogged by them, but did I realistically think we could beat Brentford? No. However, does the supporter in me think we can do it? Of course, it's my fucking team, mate. Like,
the thing is,
I bleed them. So I can't. Not literally, but I bleed them. So, as if I can't not have faith or have some form of hope that my football team can give me a sense of happiness.
The way I look at it, pound for pound, player for player, you are the better team. So you should win that match. That's it. Player for player, you're the better team.
Yeah.
So you should be winning that. But yeah, I don't know. Ten Hag maybe needs to. I think Ten Hag's really lacking leadership. I think he's not making big decisions. He should have culled Ronaldo if that's what he was going to do. He should have. I told you like last week, the biggest mistake I think he made was keeping Maguire as captain. I think that was the biggest. You could have just stripped him as a new person coming in the club and just said, no, I want to give it, 2 months to decide who I want as captain. Just put it on De Gea's arm. He's the longest there. You know what I mean? Just someone for the short term. Just say short term. De Gea's been here the longest.
That on the weekend, like you know what I mean? Like fuck.
I don't know. I just think
See, this is what I mean, right? With leadership, right? And we go back just really, really quickly to what I was talking about earlier. In terms of the players and the expectations and all that kind of stuff, right? So I know I agree. Maguire, he shouldn't be in the. He shouldn't even be in the 11, let alone the start. Let alone being the captain. But who are you going to give it to? So you got Ronaldo that wants to fucking leave, Bruno that's shithouse. Oh, that's turned shithouse. That's well underperforming, and the other potential is De Gea that it is massive controversy over him. That's a fantastic bloke for a mistake. I still think he's a decent keeper, but still, he got stripped of it 2 years ago or whatever it was because he was just a shambles and he came out arguing against the manager or whatever. So yeah, he got. I think Mourinho stripped him. So so they're the four. So you've got an underperforming player. You've got one that wants to leave. You've got someone that's bagged out the ex-manager. That's bagged out a manager before as a captain and said, pretty much he needs to fucking go. Or you've got Harry Maguire that although he's shit and he doesn't come out and talk, at least he fucking you know, I don't know. At least he keeps quiet. You know,
I
like
don't
who
know.
else are you going to give it to? Rashford?
Yeah, I know. Just quickly as well. Did you see obviously what happened with Mbappe over the weekend?
I didn't know.
So Mbappe, in that PSG game, I guess you would have to probably watch the highlights to sort of understand it. You know, they got a penalty, took the penalty, he missed it. You know, being a little sulky
Mbappe
brat.
did. Yeah.
Mbappe, yeah. So they get a second penalty, and Neymar obviously grabs the ball, says, "No, I'm going to take it." You know, Mbappe walks past Messi, bumps him in the shoulder, brushes him off, and then goes to Neymar and says, "Give me the ball." Neymar's like, "Nah, fuck you, like I'm taking it," sort of thing. And then through the game, you know, PSG were on a counter attack, running through the middle. I can't remember who was running through the middle. Mbappe's on the left, on the right side, two more players are loading up. So you know, the midfielder passes to the right because, you know, better options sort of thing. And Mbappe got pissed off, stops in the middle of the field and just walks to the sideline, just like complaining and like sulking like a little bitch. Like,
Did he really?
Bro, you got to watch the highlights. Like, if you just go on Twitter and just search it up, like,
I will. Mate, that whole club turned into a sham. That whole club with the Mbappe there,
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Yeah, it is.
CR7 needs to start against Liverpool. Well, you got no other options, bro.
I think he's. Well, I read 2 hours ago.
Actually, Pete, you might answer this as well. Do you think he's going to go 2 weeks?
Well, I read against 2 hours ago that he's gone. Like, players.
Where's he going to go?
Sorry, players are now coming out. You know, so the press in the UK have leaked, obviously, from players.
You guys are leaking nonstop, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, leaking nonstop, right? But players are coming out. Oh, the press is saying that players would much rather us lose every game and have a happier environment than for Ronaldo to stay at the football club and play for us. That's what players are now leaking. Like, that is embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Yeah, this Ronaldo, the fact that the player is getting more hyped than the club is just causes too much drama. I know, like, when we got rid of Ozil, like, I was never a fan of Ozil anyway, but, you know, like, that caused massive controversy in our football club.
Again, like, though, mate, when you're on big money, right? As what you mentioned with Ozil, right? On big money, mate, self-entitled motherfuckers, aren't they? You know, their shit don't stink. They're the fucking.
The thing is, Ronaldo still thinks
you're not.
Ronaldo still thinks he's 27 in his prime. So, and what did he say? No, can't go bigger clubs. Can't get him because can't pay his wages. Yeah, I agree, bro. Unless they pay out his contract and he's left to go on a free to. I don't even know who he goes to because who can afford the wages?
No, he can't. He can't go to any of the big clubs. I don't think. I think the only way
there's no way. No one's going to pay for him.
The only way Ronaldo can leave is going back to like a Sporting for £150,000 a week or something like that. That's it.
Well, that's the only thing I can think is Sporting, because to me he's caring about his own legacy,
or going over to Saudi Arabia or fucking America or something like that.
He's not going to do that because he's focused on UCL goals. That's his target.
But is he now? You know, like, he looks that unhappy at United. He looks like he'd rather play football for colleges up front than he would play for fucking Man United at the moment. Like, even what you said about him crying on the halfway line and stuff. Like, he just looks like
I can understand.
He looks like he's so depressed out there.
He does look. He's 100% fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Bro. He's used to talent around him, and now he's just got this garbage around him.
I know last week I said fuck him off, all that kind of stuff, and you know what? I still think if you don't want to be here, go. Right? Like, and that's no disrespect. That's never been disrespect to Cristiano. But if you don't want to be here, go. But I'd much rather.
No one's bigger than the club.
We're now at the stage where we've got 2 weeks left of the transfer window.
I don't think you can afford to let him go.
Right? But we're desperate, right? We're desperate. So we either fluff about with Ronaldo for the next 2 weeks. Is he staying? Is he going? Or we just fucking bite the bullet, get rid of him, try and fucking focus on getting 2 or 3 players in for panic buys, as we both agree.
Because I heard that the only way you guys are going to sign is if Ronaldo leaves or something. That's what I saw.
I don't understand why. It doesn't make sense, but
I don't know, the wage bill and the structure. I don't know. I just saw something like a rumor like that.
We'd only get 10 million for him in terms of a fee. So
I don't even think you'd get anything for him because no one's going to pay the wage.
Yeah,
dude, we struggled even with Barcelona. Like we had to pay the rest of Abba's contract.
What was he on roughly? Ish.
Up to 350.
Shit. Okay, so he was on a fair bit of coin.
Yeah, so he was up to 350. And obviously they had to. I think Barcelona refused to, because that in that doco you sort of see the insides of like the big contract issues, and it took a whole month with the legal team and stuff, and it literally came down to the last 2 hours of the transfer window for them to for them to get the deal done with Abba gone. So like pay out the contract and then for him to sign with Barca and to confirm wages at a certain like rate, and then we pay the difference sort of thing for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty crazy. So I don't know how that will go with Ronaldo being obviously a lot of a bigger star and a lot bigger wages. And a lot older. Abba was only 31. Ronaldo's 37. So
yeah, correct. Yeah, he's close enough to being done. Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much to me, like, you know, maybe he should really suck it up and try to do his best for United to build a legacy. And at least when he leaves, he helped build them back up. You know what I mean? Like if he spent like the next 3 years retired at 40 and he helped build United with their youth and kids that they bring in like in a new structure, he could leave with a legacy saying, you know what, I helped them back. This is where like it all began.
He's only ever cared about himself. Let's be realistic.
I know. I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah. I agree.
That to me would be a legacy that you would want to leave. But it seems like he only gives a shit about himself. So
great player, done a lot for the club over the years. Obviously, you know, for United, you know, took us through our glory days. You know, and be appreciative. But let's be honest, Ronaldo's only ever cared about himself. As I mentioned last week, he doesn't give a fuck about the fans. At the end of the game, mate, I know we lost 4-0. He's upset, whatever. Someone said, go clap the fans away at Brentford. Mate, I read they said, go clap the fans. He went fuck off and walked straight down the tunnel. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about anyone. He doesn't give a fuck about any fans. He doesn't give a fuck about anyone but himself.
Yeah, he only gives a shit about himself for sure. All right, let's we'll end this one on the predictions for the week. So, good weekend of football coming up. First game is actually Tottenham versus Wolves on the Saturday.
Tottenham are going to win. I don't know. I'd say Spurs. Yeah, I'd say Spurs at home. Son hasn't scored yet, so I'm going to say Son. I'm going to say Son's going to score a double. There you go.
To me, Kane didn't even score either. Fucking own goal.
Yeah, true. That's true.
I don't know how they gave him that goal, bro. That was literally off target, and the defender's shin kicked it in, like thigh kicked it in.
People were tipping Son golden boot this year, so I'm going to say Son with a brace.
Son with a brace. I'm going to go in this game. Realistically, Tottenham should win.
I was waiting for a draw because you just hate Spurs so much. I was literally waiting for it, you know, just with that little bit of hope. So I'm proud of you.
My brain's wanting to say draw or loss. Believe me. But Spurs should win. Unbiasedly, Spurs should win. And probably like 3-1 or something like that. They're still leaking goals, so I think they'll be 3-1. I think they'll still leak like Podence or someone like that, or maybe Neto. Yeah, maybe 3-1. Nottingham Forest, Everton. I'm gonna tip fucking Nottingham.
I was just about to say, I reckon Forest could get up there.
Yeah, maybe like a 1-0 again, like they did last week.
Just quickly about Forest. Did you see their highlights on in terms of their first game at home in the Premier League? Mate, that was that stadium was fucking rocking. Watch it, like it sent shivers down my spine, and I couldn't give a flying fuck about Forest. It was fantastic. It was fantastic, hey. Really? It was like an Anfield on steroids, to be honest. Just for the sheer fact about how long it's been in the Premier League and all.
Who'd they verse in the first week?
I'm talking about so on the weekend just gone. So they're away the first week, and I'm talking about the weekend just gone. So when they played West Ham.
Oh, West Ham. So yeah, what do you want to just look at the actual highlights, or?
Yeah, just watch. You know that Nottingham Forest Premier League entrance, or you know, I think it might even be Optus Sport. I think it showed like 20-30 second clip of it, or whatever it might be. It was really good.
Googling now. Nottingham Forest entrance, full Wembley. I think it just maybe matched their highlights. I'll have to check it out after. Yeah, I think I definitely think Forest can get up in that game. So I might go 1-0 Forest because Everton been shocking, honestly.
I think so too. I think Forest could get up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go that. Leicester Southampton.
Oh, jeez.
Leicester really haven't been that great. Neither have Southampton. So.
Draw, because I actually don't know who to back. So if in doubt, I just draw. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I reckon like a 1 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brentford Fulham. You'd have to tip Brentford after that. You know they've had a great start so far. 2 wins on the bounce. I'm
going to tip Fulham. And the reason why I'm going to tip Fulham is because I think. You think about it, mate. Mitrovic. I know he missed the pen, but Mitrovic should be leading goal scorer at the moment. It's fucking.
Should
I know
be,
it's only been 2 games, but like a 2 and 2. Yes, he's 2 and 2, but should be 3 and 2.
I've got to after we finish the stream, I got to talk to you about the fantasy quickly. I might have to sub them in.
Right.
Yeah, all right. I still think maybe Brentford just off the high of 2 wins potentially. So it is an away match, so maybe Fulham get them. Palace, Aston Villa. I'm gonna go Crystal Palace. I think they're just playing better than Aston Villa at the moment.
Yeah, Aston Villa. I think I tipped them.
Played well against us, well against Liverpool. I think they're due for a win. So
yeah, and I actually think I tipped Villa to be in top 6 for the year, and I've just been a little bit. Mate, Coutinho's been fucking ordinary, eh? Like
Gerrard he's just not the coach.
As I mentioned last week,
you told me
same stuff as Gary Neville.
Not that great, yeah. So
Palace
then,
Palace as well.
Palace as well, yeah. Bournemouth, Arsenal. I'm hoping for a clean sheet. I'm looking for a clean sheet because we've had that last game was sloppy in defense. But I'm comfortable in this game. I'm going to say 3-0. We're scoring a lot of goals right now. The thing is, we're scoring a lot, but we're creating a lot of chances. And Jesus should have had 5 goals, honestly, in that game. Like, we created so many chances. Hit the post a few times. Yeah, Arsenal 3-0. Just the way City tore them apart. I think City should have had a lot more, but I think we'll get 3. I think it'll be pretty comfortable.
I'm going 2-0 to Bournemouth. To Bournemouth.
Shut up.
No, I think it'll be comfortable.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah. I think so as well. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Who we got next? We got West Ham, Brighton. What do you reckon?
West Ham. I think again, people. I reckon a lot of people probably would have tipped West Ham to finish, say, top 7, top 8 this year after the season that they had last year. They're 19th. Obviously, they're 2 losses from 2. Don't get me wrong, they've had a couple of tough games, but I just think they're going to bounce. I just think at home they're going to bounce back. I think they need to, because if they lose to Brighton or if they drop points against Brighton, like their start to the season has been really, really bad. So I think it's a really important game for West Ham, to be honest with you. I know it's only
I was hoping that Scamacca would be a little bit up more to pace and stuff like that. It's just been a little bit rusty for them at the start. But you know what? Like, they go through those patches and then they come back. So who knows? There's still a lot of window left and a little time left. So I'll go West Ham win. West Ham wins. Scamacca 1-0. Scamacca 1-0. Leeds versus Chelsea. It's hard to bet against Chelsea in this one, to be honest. I think highly done. The first game they didn't look great. The second game they looked a lot better against Spurs. Very harshly done by, but it is what it is. I think Chelsea will be comfortable, maybe like 2-3-0, something like that.
Same. I think Chelsea definitely get up.
Yeah. 2-3-0 for that one. Newcastle, Man City. Safe to say probably City. It is Newcastle at home, so St. James's Park, who knows? Maybe, I think Newcastle took points of City last year, did they?
They did, I think, yes.
Yeah, so, maybe a draw.
Newcastle could give them for a run for their money.
I think so.
You got to tip. Let's be realistic. Unless City play Liverpool, Arsenal, potentially with the form that you guys are in at the moment, Arsenal, obviously, if you have the ups and your downs, it might be a different story. Then I think, really, unless City play, Chelsea, Spurs, even United for the derby, Arsenal, Liverpool, I think you pretty much got to always go City. Even when they're playing those other, say, top 5 in brackets, you've always pretty much got to go. You've pretty much always got to tip City, right? Just because of their form, their depth, their class, all that kind of stuff. But Newcastle could give them I could see that being like a 1-goal win, like a 2-1 or a 1-0 or or a 2-0.
Yeah, even if it's like a 1-1, it's not going to shock me. Yeah, it's not going to shock me. Somehow Newcastle just pull off those results. Yeah. And obviously last game of the weekend, potentially make or break for either club here. Liverpool versus Man United. Give me a perspective on what you see the game panning out and how you see it panning out.
My heart says we can do something.
No, I know what your heart says, but what does your head say?
My head says that we're going to get absolutely. My head says that we're going to get absolutely fucking flogged, mate. Oh, we're not flogged, but my head says that this time next week we're going to be talking on. We're going to be talking on episode 6, and it's going to be like a dominant 2-3-0 Liverpool, and it's going to be a dominant 2-3-0 Liverpool performance. It might not be like a
look. I think
not in terms of goals, but it's going to be like
yeah.
a Liverpool 70% possession. 2-0, passing the ball around, making us look like fucking school kids, and just not embarrassing us at Old Trafford. That's what
I think if you guys play like you did the last 2 games, 100% Liverpool win. I think Liverpool, Klopp's going to be in their ear after 2 draws and just like nail those guys for what they did. And it's, like Bobby Firmino is just going to slot in from Nunes or whatever. So, it's not going to be a massive change anyway. So, or he brings on Jota and what's his name? Diaz or whatever. Something like that. You know what I mean? Like they'll figure out something. And those guys running at your defense, man, I don't know. It's not out of it's not out of the realms of possibility that Manchester United in a derby get a result in this game. But I think just based off the 2 teams right now,
if we get a result,
the way you guys are sitting,
I see it being a smash and grab. If we can get a result, it's a 1-0, it's a 1-0 lucky win or a 2-1 really fucking lucky win when Liverpool should have scored 6. And De Gea pulls out some worldies or whatever it might be.
You're not wrong, Mitch. They'll probably be better without Nunes. You're not wrong. But yeah, look, I just really can't see Liverpool losing to you guys, honestly.
I'm tipping Liverpool too.
Yeah, you can't see it, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the predictions, guys. We'll be back obviously next week with the results. Hopefully Arsenal get off to another win, which would be fantastic. Keep us at the top of the table with City. And long may it continue. We'll see what happens. Obviously, it's going to be a great match that Tuesday morning. So just
think, mate, City drop points, and if City drop points against Newcastle at St James, and we lose to Liverpool this time next week, Arsenal could be top and United could be bottom.
Yeah, but last year at this time as well, man, Arsenal were 20th and Tottenham were first. It means nothing, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to get too gassed too early, but all our games are winnable games, like I've said. So we've got to capitalize on the games we can, and we have to go and prove ourselves against the bigger teams this year and try to take points, which we didn't last year. So we'll see what happens. Take it day by day. We'll see what happens here. Peace out, guys. We'll see you next week. Appreciate you being here.
Cheers.